everyone. So today, as you can see, I got my Alienware steam machine. And yeah, I figured let's tear it apart. Let's tear it down, see how it's all put together, all that good stuff. Mainly because I love ripping shit apart and seeing how everything's set up. And I plan on upgrading this in the future with a better CPU. And yeah, as well as more RAM. So I just wanted to get this apart. So I figured might as well video while I do it. So let's get right into it. So the first thing is, if you look on the bottom, you have this right here. This little panel. So what you want to do is you just want to pop that out. You have your wireless steam controller dongle. So let's pop that out. You just pull it straight out. All it is a USB port. We're going to slide this out of the way so it doesn't get damaged or scratched up. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to take out a few screws. We got screws on basically every corner, so let's do that next. Okay, so next thing you want to do after you take out the 4 bottom screws is just kind of wiggle this up, and this whole entire bottom piece pops off. So we're going to put that on the dead water cooler there. And now this is what we're looking at. Very simple. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the hard drive cage. So let's get these top screws out here. It looks like that's the only screw. So after you take out this top screw right here, you literally just push forward. There's the hard drive. Now this is supposed to be a 1 terabyte 7200 RPM hard drive. So yeah, that's exactly what this is. Let's put that over to the side. So the next thing that I'm going to want to loosen up and take off would be this bottom USB port. So we got this plastic clip right here. And there's actually a center opening here. So get basically a knife, if you can't get it separated and the wire out. So what you can do is put your wire on one side, push your knife down, and kind of just peel that back. It's okay if you bend it a little bit, shouldn't break, and if it does, it's only a plastic clip, no big deal. You could also just pull it straight out, to be honest. Now, you also have this, there's 2 little metal tabs, you literally just move them around, pop that out. Now there's 1 Phillips head screw holding this USB bracket on. So let's get that out. And as a word of warning, these screws are tight. Let me try a different bit. That's a little loose. Luckily I have multiple options here. There we go. That feels like it's going to bite it. Oh my god. As you can see, I'm shaking and pressing down really hard. Okay, so that's going to give me problems because that is actually stripping out. That's how tight it is. Oh, there we go. Whew. Okay, that was really tight. Okay. Now we got the cover off. Now, there's a little wiring connector there. Now this should pop off for me. But this is new to me. Like, okay, no, I think that's actually soldered to the board. So there is a Phillips head screw right here, though. So let's get this screw out. That one was nearly that wasn't even tight at all. Okay. Now with that out, now after you get that screw out, literally just slide this a little bit. Come on. Come on, you little bugger. Okay, you actually have adhesive that's holding it on as well. So they really did not want that to come loose on you. Okay, now that that's taken care of, we can look at the rest of the design here. And we have another wire that's running there, runs all the way in. And let's see where that wire actually goes. It looks like it's literally just soldered right there. So let's see if we can just get this wire to give us a little bit of slack to help us out. Alright, it looks like it actually splits off and we have two wires right here. I have no idea what they're for at the moment, but we will find out. So, another thing that you can do is lift this whole unit up and try to get it out of the plastic casing. It is a little tight, but just like that, now you have the whole entire bottom casing out. Probably should have showed you guys that first. So now we can flip it over, and we have the CPU cooling fan and the GPU. So these are very easy to work with. These two tabs, you'd literally just squeeze them and lift up. And you got the wiring right here. The whole entire cooling fan is off. And same goes for the GPU. And now what you got is your CPU heatsink and your GPU heatsink, as well as your DIMMs, your RAM sticks. So just like a standard laptop, there's two metal tabs that you pull slightly apart, and this takes laptop RAM, SO-DIMM basically. And each one for this particular model is 4 gigabytes a stick. There's two sticks, total of 8 gigabytes of RAM. So let's take this heatsink off. It only makes sense to, might as well just put better thermal paste on it anyway. So you got 4 screws right here for the heat sinks. And the one that I'm doing right now is the CPU. And there we go, just like so. And just so everybody can see this, this is actually not a mobile chip. Before I take that apart though, well actually I don't need to really take it apart. You guys can easily see that that is not a integrated mobile chip. So let me get a tissue and we can put some good thermal paste on there. Okay, now I would normally use rubbing alcohol. I don't feel like grabbing it. But anyways, this processor is an Intel i7 4785T. Has 4 cores, 8 threads, very, very low power consumption. Ungodly low. So I'm going to re-thermal paste this. Back here you can also see the wireless card. And we will get to the GPU after I put some thermal paste on this guy. So I actually should have thermal paste that is readily accessible to me right on the other side of this camera. And I guess I was wrong, so I will grab a new tube. Oh, it's right in here. There we go. I'm going to be using Cooler Masters this time. Alright. So just put a little dab in the center, just like that. You don't need much. And let me just wipe off this heatsink here. Alright, nice and clean. And now if you are doing this, these arrows, let's see if we can get it. These arrows at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, they actually point to the back of the unit. So line up your screws. There we go. That should be lined up. And with these, get one started and then go to the opposite. And then opposite side again. And opposite side again. Just until they're all getting somewhere. Okay, that one's snugged up. Snugged up. Snugged up. And that one is snugged up as well. So now the CPU is done. Now let's take the GPU heatsink off. Now the GPU is integrated like a laptop. That's all she is right there. Very, very tiny die. Let's clean that up and we will get some fresh thermal paste on her. Alright, now let's just clean up this as well. Just to get this factory, I'm assuming budget-friendly thermal paste off of here. There we go. We'll put some more Cooler Master on it. Now this is going to be next to nothing. That should be more than enough. And if you do take this on, make sure these pads go back on where they belong. Very important to do that. Okay. So now, just going to line it up. There we go. Start threading things down. Come on. There you go. Alright, that's snugged up. That's good. That's good, and That's good. Okay, so we got new, fresh thermal paste on both of these heat sinks. I didn't, do this because there was anything wrong with it. So far, it's running phenomenally. I have Windows 10 installed on it. I do not have SteamOS because SteamOS, as you all may know, is a fail. So anyways, let's get back to this. Now, that's basically the whole teardown. I mean, you got the motherboard, you got the RAM, you got the wireless card, GPU, CPU, heat sinks, cooling fans, bottom USB, hard drive. So that's basically it. So let's get it back together, and let's see how easy it is to get it back together. So the first thing that we're going to do is, this is the GPU, as you can see, GPU. What you want to do is first plug in your fan connector to the header, and then just line it up just like that, clip it in, done. Now we will do the same for the CPU. Let's plug it in. Now the GPU, you can put it on and then plug it in. The CPU, not so much. So what you want to do... Okay, maybe oh, nope, there we go. Okay. So you can plug it in, but it's really tight in there for that connector. That's why I recommend plugging it in first. So line it up. Just basically, it'll go in the right spot, watch. It's not in the right spot. There we go. And it's locked in. As you can see, I'm holding it by the cooling. So yeah, that's all you have to do of getting it back together. You squeeze these two, it pops off, push back on its own. Okay, so now, looking at the bottom, as you can see, there's nothing else to take off. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this top piece right here, and let's get it back together. So what you want to do is you want to get, well, I guess you can just do it like this. You can get the top and slide it in, just pop it on, pop the top on like that. As you can hear, that's in place. Put it on its top again, so upside down. And what you want to do next is get everything back into place. So this USB actually goes right here. You have to get it in place just right to get that screw in. Boom, just like that. So we will get the stripped screw. Here's a strip screw. I'm going to put the stripped screw on this board right here. Easier to deal with it right there, and I don't have to tighten it too tight. Alright, so with that on, the next thing we can do is get this cover. And this cover has two little feet right here. Can't really see it on the camera because it doesn't feel like focusing for me. So let's manual focus. These two little feet right here, they actually go in right. There's two little holes right here. You pop it in like that, then just drop it in. Now with it dropped in, you'll see the hole for the screw that will be lined up. You get your screw. And then you drop another screwdriver, and luckily you have three, so you're somewhat good. And make sure it's nice and tight. So that's that. Now, before you continue, you'll see the two notches. You literally just put them around like that. Pop your wire back in that plastic clip that it was sitting in before. So the next thing is, well, don't do this. Don't take this outer wire off, because I had no reason to be off. So I am just going to pop this back in to the metal tabs where it belongs real quick. Come on, you little fucker. There we go. Okay. Now we're just going to pop them in on all these tabs again. Just a little wiggling will do it. Okay. So that's that. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to get our hard drive again. And lay it down so it will be able to plug in for us. And then slide it forward. It's in the locks now. Get your screw. And I gotta hand it to Alienware. They made this so easy to take apart. Because now there's no other screws other than the case. So, get your bottom piece that you initially took off. Open spot's going to be where the USB port is on the bottom. And there should be a few clips that you snap it in. It's a very interesting design for how it clips in, to be honest. And make sure you don't have anything on the wrong side. Everything, the seam looks good, and then you can start putting your screws back in. So let's get to putting the screws in. Got one. Two. Possibly three after I see what it... Nope. So that popped out wrong. So let's get this screw back out and get that in the right spot. Now we should be good. There we go, and one more. Okay, now to finalize putting it back together, you get your little wireless dongle. And you wiggle around, there we go. There it is, Steam Machine in all of its glory again. And that's it. That's all it is entailed for tearing down this Steam Machine. Alright everyone, have a good one.